Oh my goodness, you have to try this granola recipe.
Look at it. Look at it, baby. Is it no food? Let's go see. Let's go see. There is food, baby. This is sweetened calories. Sweetened calories.
Hello and welcome to Vlogmas Day 12. Let me just check. Yes, we are on day 12. I'm losing track of days in December. It's just chaotic. You would have seen my video that I put out yesterday, or today my time, but yesterday your time, where I basically said I was exhausted. And yesterday I felt absolutely just wrecked. It was as if, I don't know, it was just, I felt like I had absolutely no energy, and so I plodded along to the best of my abilities for the day. But today I did wake up a little bit tired. I'm not getting a lot of good sleep lately. I seem to be waking up at 3 o'clock and then unable to sleep for an hour. But anyway, I didn't come on for this. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm starting off the day by doing the advent calendar first. We're then going to go in the kitchen, and I am so excited to be making granola for the first time ever. A number of you have given me some ideas on what you do with your granola, and I've taken inspiration from yours, looked at a couple of recipes, and of course, I've come up with my own invention. We'll see how that pans out. And while I'm at it, I thought I would answer a question that was asked to me this year that I promised I would answer, which was about my going grey journey with my hair. So I know hair and cooking probably don't go together. Hey, let's see if I can make it work. So let's start off with the advent calendar. Today is day 12 for me, and it is not your average eye cream. Okay, so that's a giveaway, isn't it? But this is why I bought the advent calendar. I got a sample of the creamy eye treatment with avocado from Kiehl's probably a couple of months ago, and I loved it. My under eyes just soaked it all up and have never looked better since I used it. The problem is it's a little bit expensive. And so I didn't actually bite the bullet and buy it. I thought I'll buy the advent calendar and see if it comes in there. And sure enough, this size is the 14 mils, which is a really decent size of the cream. So I'm happy that I got that, and it will hit my repertoire of creams. Talking of which, I'm going to start telling you about the products that have come in the advent calendar that I have started using. I have started using in my shower the Bath and Shower Liquid Body Cleanser in grapefruit. As mentioned when I first opened it, I don't find that it smells like grapefruit. It smells citrusy, which is fine, and it's not a really strong, overpowering scent. So if you don't like strong scents, then this is a really good one. It lathers somewhat. So it doesn't give you like a lot of sudsing, but you can feel it, that it is gliding on your skin, on your body, and it doesn't dry your skin up like some soaps can do. So my skin doesn't feel tight after I use this. It's really moisturizing and I love it. So actually I'm happy with that. Something else that I've started using following that is also the Creme de Corpse. I just thought I'd start using it so that I could give you an idea what it's like, and it is beautiful. Again, it has a very hint of a scent, not very strong at all. So if you don't like something that's too powering that might clash with your own perfume or your own body odor, I know some people are a bit funny like that. I know I have a relative who doesn't like to use any perfumed products except just her perfume because she prefers the scent of her own skin rather than the scent of additional products on her body. So if you're like that, that you might like this. It's not unscented, but it has a very mild scent. So that's that one. And then I've been using the hand salve, the Ultimate Strength hand salve. That's also really good. It doesn't leave my skin feeling sticky. It absorbs really easily by my hands, and yeah, it leaves them hot. It leaves them moisturized for quite a while. So I think that is it. What did I get up to yesterday? So as I said, I was extremely exhausted yesterday. So all I ended up doing was exercising at home. I just went to the gym and I did a stretch, only because it's my laziest activity to do. When I actually feel like I have no energy to do anything, I know that if I put in a 10-minute exercise stretch routine, it will get me active somewhat, and it will also start monitoring, because then I can add the activity to my heart ring that keeps track of all my activities, and then I know that at least every day I've done something. It doesn't have to be, running a marathon every day. Even stretching for 10 minutes is good enough on those days where I actually have no willpower, no energy, nothing. I'm just tired. This morning I went for a walk with a girlfriend, and then later this afternoon I've got Reformer Pilates. So busy day, but yammering on. Let's go into the kitchen. Okay, let's go to the kitchen and meet Sadie, my cleaning lady. Hello, Coco. Are you making an appearance today in my video, are you? Hello, beautiful girl. Look at those beautiful eyes. Oh, my goodness. You are too beautiful. You are. Okay, let's go into the kitchen. Excuse the mess. My ironing is piling up. I know I have to get to it. But anyway, I am making granola. I have maple syrup, a mixture of pepitas and sunflower seeds and some raw nuts and some dry sultanas. It was a premix that I'd bought ages ago and I just haven't eaten it. So I'm just going to use it up in my granola today. Rolled Australian oats, raw mixed nuts, because that was a suggestion from one of my viewers, extra pepitas. And I have some orange rings that I made. That I sliced really thinly, probably about 5 millimeters. Excuse me, I'm just going to go and wash my hands because I touched a dog. And then I'll open it up. And then I also have some apple slices. Let me quickly wash my hands. So I should measure it all, but I will link up the recipe that I'm loosely following in the description box in case you also want to do it. But maybe take some notes of what I'm doing, because I'm going to have to do the same. The recipe says to start with 2 cups of rolled Australian oats. So I'll start with that. One, 2. I have enough pepitas and sunflower seeds in here, so I don't think I'll use the packet. But what I will do, I will cut up some of the nuts because I feel like they're a bit too big. Now, my going grey journey. I'll just have to, So, my going grey journey started about 2 years ago now. In 2024, in 2022 it started. I'd always, since I was probably in my mid-20s, I started dyeing my hair. I always wanted to be a different colour to what I was. I had a natural brown, chestnut brown hair with lighter ends. But I always wanted to be something else, something blonder, redder, different colour. And so I always used to dye my hair. And over the years, as I was getting older, I was noticing that my hair was getting really frizzy and dry looking. And I never really put 2 and 2 together about the fact that I was using all these chemicals in my hair that could potentially be the cause of why my hair was frizzy and dry. Anyway, during the pandemic, you couldn't dry your hair. You couldn't dye your hair easily. So I ended up using a packet mix, completely ruined my hairdresser's hair color. And so when the pandemic finished, I thought, oh no, I've got to go back to dyeing my hair. So I went quite blonde for me. In some of my early videos, if you go back a while, you'll see that I had blonde streaks and quite blonde at the front. My hair was getting really brittle and dry, and I could never grow it long when it was blonde because it would just break and break a lot, and it would actually just look really frizzy and dry looking. I'd have to put loads of products in it in order to make it look healthy. I'd have to blow dry it and straighten it and use a straightening iron in order to make it look decent. And my curls never last on my hair, so it was quite challenging and time consuming, plus not to mention the cost. It used to cost me about $180 every 5 weeks in order to get my hair done. And I just, after a while, I was just feeling guilty because it didn't matter. Like, I mean, if I spent $180 and I thought, okay, well, that's going to last me 5 weeks, it was fine. But what would happen is within a week, the grays here and here would start showing through. And so I'd feel so bad because I'd have to use then the powders and the hair mascaras to disguise it. And it was just, it wasn't pleasant. It was really getting quite annoying having to dye my hair. So November 2022, I decided to take the plunge. I decided to not go back to my hairdresser and get the hair colored. I just decided to let it grow out. So I would go back to the hairdresser for a haircut, but I would get her to put a toner in it because my hair used to throw a lot of orange. So when I would go blonde, my hair after a few weeks would end up looking orange and dry and just yucky. So I went back to her and I said, look, I'm going to go natural. So I just put a toner in it so that the orange would be disguised. Anyway, she did that. So that's 1 cup now of mixed nuts, pepitas, and everything else. And the hardest part about going grey was probably the first 2-3 months wasn't too bad because I would disguise the regrowth with powder. But when it got to the 3rd month and my hair started going basically this top layer grey, it would require way too much maintenance to keep it looking like, you know, I was managing a regrowth. So I decided to just bite the bullet and just embrace the grays. And in fact, in Vlogmas 2022, I had a video go out that said, embrace the grays. And I spoke about how I had decided to go grey. And it's funny because so many women, it was quite, I guess the feedback was quite 50-50. So many women are pro going natural, and so many women are, nope, I'm going to dye my hair to the day I die, which is fine. It's your choice. You can do whatever you want, right? But for me, it was like, okay, I'm going to go grey. And the funny thing is that growing up, my mum never dyed her hair. She was very natural with her hair. And when she started reaching her 40s and started going grey, I remember saying to her, Mum, you should dye your hair. You're looking old. And now I feel like such a brat of a daughter to say that to my mum, because if my daughter said that to me, I'd be like, you know what, my hair, my choice. But at the time, you know, young and naive, and you speak before you think. I remember having a conversation with my mum saying, you should dye your hair because it will make you look younger. And anyway, and she turned out and said, no, I'm quite happy with my grey hairs. My mum went grey and she looked beautiful. So she said she would go grey. And over the years, I've seen my mum's hair colour morph from salt and pepper, very much like me, to a more grey and salt and pepper. So now my mum is 77, and she, to this day, has beautiful long hair, very much just like mine now, but more white than black. So the reverse of what I've got is what her hair looks like. And I think she looks absolutely gorgeous. So I'm very proud of the fact that my mum went grey, because now that I've decided to accept my greys, I'm glad that I can look back on her and see what my hair looks like, or what's going to look like in 20 years' time compared to hers. So anyway, so that's why I went grey. How do I maintain my hair now that it's grey? Well, what I've started doing is I no longer use a cotton pillowcase. I now use a silk pillowcase or a satin pillowcase, and I find that that is so much more gentle on my hair. Excuse me, my vacuum cleaner is emptying. So that's 2 cups of raw mixed nuts, pepitas, sunflower seeds, and a little bit of sultanas, I think, in there. And now what was I saying? I forgot. So yes, so I use now a satin or silk pillow. I buy it from Spotlight, and I find that they have a better selection of colors, so I can find a pillowcase that suits my color scheme. So now I have 2 cups of raw oats, 2 cups of mixed nuts and fruit. I'm thinking I might put this container of nuts too, just because I'd like the idea of it being really nutty and rich. And I might just increase the container or increase the quantity of maple syrup. Anyway, so yes, so I use a silk pillowcase, which matches more my sheets. So I found that at Spotlight, and so that works for me. I also no longer use straighteners on my hair or hot irons on my hair. I found that that also contributed to my hair getting brittle on the ends. Now, has my condition of my hair changed? No, it is still frizzy. That's just, I feel as you get older, that's just the way my hair is. It's just tends to be frizzy, and I've always had that issue. Even when I was younger, my hair just goes really, like I put my finger in a electrical outlet and it goes like that. That's what happens. My daughter, Charlotte, has the same problem, so we're twins in that regard. So anyway, so I found that by not dyeing my hair just returned to its more natural state. And so now it's a lot more easy to manage. It's a lot more manageable. And I find that I use now a simpler or a more gentler heating tool. So I use my Dyson, or if you've seen, I've also bought the Kmart hair curler, air dryer, and that's so much more gentle on my hair than a straightening tool. So I find that having something like that has really helped my hair condition and health. In fact, when I went back to my hairdresser a couple of months ago, because it had gotten to the point where I thought it was ready now to just be completely cut short and remove all the leftover color in it, and she said, oh my goodness, I can't believe how good your hair looks, natural. And I said, thank you. I'd gone to a hairdresser and I said, okay, I just want to cut all the extra color off, all the old color off, just to make it healthy. And she said, it's going to make it too short. So what we'll do is I'll just cut it to what I think is right, because you're not going to be able to notice it. And in fact, these ends still have some of the old color, but I feel like it blends in well with my hair. These are really nice. I'm going to love this granola. If you're following along, I feel like these are 2 cups. So it's going to be 4 cups of mixed nuts and 2 cups of rolled oats. I now have a very simple hairstyle. It's just down, probably has a little bit of layers in it, but I'm just letting it grow. And one, I'm saving so much money on my maintenance now. And 2, I find that my hair just looks so much more healthier than what it used to. I have to say, I don't get many negative comments about my hair. I know, I don't get many negative comments. Most people that I've interacted with all say they love it. And, you know, I guess in a what is it? What's the term? Positive, negative, where they say, oh, you look so good with grey hair. I could never do that, which is fine. But I always feel that that kind of comment is a bit of like a backhanded compliment. But anyway, I don't care. I'm fine with my hair. If I should ever feel that I don't like it anymore, by all means, I will go back. But it did take me a while for it to grow out, and the time went very slow, because every time I put my hair up, more of the hair of the grey shows through. So whenever I put my hair up in a bun or a ponytail, I feel like it emphasizes the greys. Whereas when I just leave my hair down like this, I feel like the grey isn't as noticeable and it just looks more, what's the word, more even and not as harsh as when it's pulled back. So I enjoy doing it that way. Now I have a huge mixture of nuts, rolled oats, and a little bit of dried nut fruit. What I will mix into it will be some dried apples that I basically made my own. These are slices of apples that I sliced a couple of months ago. Basically, I just sliced up some apples that I had, cut them quite thin, probably about 1/2 centimetre, and put them in my food dehydrator. And it turned out almost like apple chips. We like eating them. They're not very crispy, but it's like having a sweet treat without having a sweet treat, if you know what I mean. They're quite nice. So I'm thinking while this is roasting in the oven, I'll cut these up and throw them in last. Now, I'm thinking I'd like to put some cinnamon in this because I feel like apples and cinnamons go well together. Not too much because I don't want it to be overwhelming. Maybe a teaspoon, that was. Oh, that smells nice. Okay, and now the recipe did say to use 3 tablespoons, and I should do the right thing and actually measure it so that I know in future what I actually used. 1, 2, I'm going to go 3. And then mix it well. Now, personally, I like a crispy granola. But we'll see what happens here. That's sweet enough. 3 tablespoons for this quantity is plenty. Okay. Let me get some trays ready. I've dropped the temperature to 140 for the stove, so that for the oven, so that I don't burn them. And I'm going to put them in for, I'm going to say 5 minutes at a time because I want to be careful not to burn the nuts and everything. So I'll leave it there. And while that's happening, I will cut up the apples. Now, some of the comments about the granola was that some people like to make their own, but they don't use the dried fruit from the supermarket shelf because of the sulfates. If you want to get around that, you can make your own fruit, dried fruit like I have here. It's very simple. If you don't have a food dehydrator, then by all means, you can just put them, cut up the fruit thinly, and then put it on trays in the oven on a very low heat, and just leave it in there overnight. A bit like if you were to make your own breadcrumbs at home, where you cut up your bread thinly and then just leave it in the oven, basically dry overnight on a very low heat. I put it on about 80 degrees so that it doesn't burn. And that's enough to make it really crispy. Now, I feel these apples are a little bit too crispy. Next time I make them specifically for the granola, I think I'm going to leave them a little bit more chewy rather than crispy like this. But it's definitely something very easy to do and made with any fruit that you're not eating. I've tried drying oranges. I was actually contemplating putting the oranges in the granola, but then I took a bite of one and it's just because it's got the rind on it, it's got a bit of a bitter taste to it. So I use these whenever I make cocktails or I have a soft drink. If I'm having, for example, lemon, lime and bitters, then I might put one of these on the side just to make it look a little bit more fancy. Or if you're having a whiskey, you can put that in there. Oh, if only you could smell this. Put it in for another 5 minutes. Yummy. You're supposed to turn them every 10 minutes, but I'm so afraid of burning them that I'm doing it every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes. So I think that was the 4th time. I'll know in edit how many times I've done it. Anyway, back to my gingerbread man. Okay, I think they might be ready now. Let's have a look. Yep. Now, if you cool down before you put them in a container, I think they're cooked because see how they're a golden color? I don't want them to go any darker because then they might burn. Yep. Let them cool down now, and then we'll mix them up with the apples that I've broken up. Here's all the apples that I've broken up. And then I'll put them all in this lovely jar. See you soon once it's all done. And it's all dry. So I'm going to put it in my bowl. Yum. Let's do the taste test. Crunchy. Crunchy. Hint of cinnamon. Yum. This is delicious. Put the apples in it. Combine it all. Wow, look at that. How cool is that? I'll have to take a photo. Well, let's put it all in a nice jar that I have. Why does it look like that? Perfect quantity. That worked out perfectly. Now, this is so nice. I'm going to have breakfast for lunch. Give me a minute. I have a little bit of yogurt. Too greedy to go for 2 scoops. Let's give this a bit of a taste test. Perfect mix of crunch, sweetness, not too sweet at all, and of course the tanginess of the yogurt. Oh, this is a winner. I will try and put the quantities in the description box below so that you know what I put in it to create it. This is absolutely delicious. I'm really excited. I think I can probably put a little bit more in here. I don't think that was enough. It's too nice. Okay, now what I want to say about my going grey, I did make some notes. I think I answered why I went grey. Basically because I wanted my hair to, well, as you're aging, as I was aging, I found that my hair was getting really brittle and dry and I couldn't get the length in it that I wanted. because every time I was getting peroxide and the styling tools that I was using a hot hair tool, like a straightening iron. I was using a straightening iron to straighten my hair and curl it. I found that it was damaging. The peroxide and the hot tools were damaging my hair, and I just couldn't get it past my chin before it becoming brittle. Whereas now I'm able to get it a little bit longer. This is third day hair, and I did get really sweaty this morning exercising. So anyway, so as to the why, the benefits, obviously the cost saving is amazing. I was spending about $180 every 5 weeks just for the regrowth and also the blonde tips or blonde foils that I was putting in it. But also the benefits being that my hair is so much healthier now. And I can't say that it's thicker, but it's just definitely healthier, and it feels thicker because it feels softer than it used to. It used to feel very dry and brittle. How long did it take? It took me a good 2 years to get the growth that I wanted. Now, if you look at this length here, this still has the original color, but all the blonde foils that I put in it has all been cut out. So I'm happy with that. 2 years. The first 12 months was probably the hardest because I could see the growth coming through, whereas now it just, I think, it just looks more natural, even with the ends being darker. How do I feel now? I feel fine. I love the look of it. I feel like my hair is now an individual. It's unique. No one else has got the same hair color that I have, and every year it will change and become its own color, its own look. So I'm happy with that, and yep, it worked for me, and I'm happy with it. My husband loves me whatever I do to my hair, so it doesn't matter. I don't think he'd like me if I had strangely colored hair, but yeah, anyway, that's a conversation for another day. And what have I used? I now use a silk satin pillow. I use a Dyson Airwrap or alternative to style my hair, and I just use gentler shampoos and products. Not that I wasn't before, but before I was being very careful about using the purple and the blue shampoos because my hair used to throw a lot of orange color because it was blonde, which I don't use that now. So I feel that my hair is a lot easier to manage. I can have it staying clean for a little bit longer than it used to. I used to find that when it was dyed, I used to have to wash my hair pretty much every other day because I just couldn't get it to style and sit properly, whereas now I can get a good three days, definitely. Fourth day is a little bit ratty, and then you see me in a bun or a ponytail or something. And anyway, so that has answered, I hope, all the questions. If you do have any other questions about my going grey journey, by all means, put them in the comments below and I will answer them as soon as I can. Now, this granola, highly recommend it. I think it's just perfect. I don't think I'll ever go back to store-bought again. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.